What's up, you guys? My name is Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. You've probably seen this background, this outfit, and this look several times. I am currently bulk recording several videos because I never have the energy during the week, so I thought I would just do it right now. But I have a book review for you guys of If Only I Had Told Her. You guys, this world of Autumn and Finn just does something to me. I don't know. I literally was upset. I was upset that these books ended. That I am no longer gonna be able to experience the world of Autumn and Finn. I was upset. I was very upset. I did review the first book, which is If He Had Been With Me. I am in love with that book. It's amazing. It's literally, these books, the first and the second one, are some of my absolute favorite books in the entire world now. I love them so much. So if you've read the first book, you know that Autumn and Finn basically are like a friends to lovers story, like a friends to lovers trope. But in the first book, you read about, if you haven't read the first book, probably don't watch this video. But if you have, then you know that Finn has passed away. And you actually know that in the beginning of the first book, in the first chapter, you know that Finn passes away. But you get to read how everything led up to that point in the first book. So the first part is Finn's perspective of everything. It's not a retelling of the entire book. Mostly just the last day that they had together. It's his perspective of that last day. And so that's what you're reading about from Finn's perspective. I will say that this book is a lot spicier than the first one. The first one had the spice scene in it, but it was, I would say it was PG spice, if I'm being honest. It was not super descriptive. This one actually names body parts, you know? It was a little more heavy on the description of what they were doing and what he was feeling. I will say that I did not love how she wrote Finn. I didn't love how she wrote his perspective. There's a lot of points where it seemed like all he cared about of Autumn was how she looks. And I know that they say it in the book that she's supposed to be really pretty, but they made it almost seem like that's all he cared about, and that he's just been basically a horn dog over her the entire time. And I didn't really like that. I wanted it to be more cutesy, not cutesy, but more oh, I love who she is as a person, she's amazing, blah blah. I will say that he kept saying that Autumn brings out the worst in him. I didn't understand that exactly, because I don't know, he keeps saying it. He says it several times that Autumn brings out the worst in him. I think because she evokes these selfish thoughts in him, where he was happy when she was going through her breakup, but because now that guy Jamie was out of the picture, he was more jealous about her. He was more, I don't know, like things that I guess he thought was more negative were being brought out in him about Autumn. And he didn't like that. So he keeps saying that she brings out the worst in him, and I just didn't enjoy that he had that perspective, because Autumn has such a good perspective of Finn, and she keeps saying that like Finn brings out the best in her and that he brings out the best in everyone, and he's just so great, he's so amazing. And then here it's like, oh, she brings out the worst in me. I do love that his nickname for her is Beloved. And then in the end, spoiler, but in the end, whenever Autumn has her, whenever she's finally accepted the pregnancy, she calls her baby Beloved. And I just thought that was really beautiful. Like I do love some of the description of the way that he says stuff and how he feels about her. Like, Autumn kisses me desperately, and I am breathless with love. I can't help kissing her quickly, but when she moves in to kiss me again, I lose myself in wonder. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I'm doing this for us, and somehow, amazingly, she still doesn't understand the breadth of my passion for her. Please don't go, she says. Oh, beloved. I take her in my arms and hold her close to me. What? Like, that's just so beautiful. Ugh, I just love it. I freaking love it, bro. Like, I don't know. Actually, I don't even know why I didn't tab that area. Why didn't I tab this? I'm not sure. But, I'm gonna put like a little sticky note to remind myself to tab that. Yeah, so you guys, I just am absolutely obsessed with this book. Okay, so the next part that I'll talk about is that this book is in 3 different perspectives. The first perspective is Finn, the next one is his best friend Jack, and then the third one is Autumn. In Finn's perspective, obviously it's the retelling of the night when him and Autumn finally got together, and then all the way up to when he talks to Sylvie and when they get into their accident. And actually it wasn't even the accident that killed him. Actually, I misunderstood that when I first read it. I didn't realize what he actually died from, and I was a little confused. I still am like slightly confused, but then when I understood more of like what happened, it hit me kind of hard, for, you know, reasons I'm not going to get into right now, but it was very, very intense. I tabbed the crap out of this book because I feel like I had a deeper understanding of them. Like, I only have like 2 tabs in the If He Had Been With Me book. I only have 2 tabs in it, but because those were that area that I tabbed was like the most important parts to me, and I was also really new at tabbing and annotating and everything. But then when I got to this book is heavy on the grief of losing somebody, and honestly it's kind of amazing to read it if you have gone through that. I'm trying to find some things that oh, here it is. So I didn't think that I was going to enjoy getting Jack's perspective. I actually was like, really? Like, I don't want to hear from Jack, you know? Because I honestly did not hear good things about this book. I heard that, you know, people really loved the first book, didn't care at all about the second book. That really upset me because I love this book. I feel like I actually connected a little bit more with the second book, but because I think it's probably because of personally going through grief, before and even now. So like that perspective really just like stood out to me because it's something that I'm currently going through. And I loved Jack's perspective because, man, I just like connected so much with everything that he was saying and how he was dealing with the grief, how he saw Autumn, how he saw Sylvie, how he was dealing with things, like how he felt, and also you get to see what he was seeing from like a third person perspective of like how he saw Autumn, how he saw Finn, how he saw everything kind of transpire and how he felt about everything. And I thought that was really interesting. It was a really interesting perspective. But there's this one part that I want to read to you guys. And this one really, honestly, it just like hits me. So it says the thought opens a new wound because I wish Finn had known that this many people cared about him. He always blew it off when people said stuff like, "How are you the nicest person alive, Finn?" It was as if Finn didn't realize his consistent kindness added up for people. It was his default setting. It says, it was as if Finn didn't realize his consistent kindness added up for people. It is his default setting. And then it says, was. This part is so true. This part is so true. So it says, it hurts, yet it feels good. No, so what he's saying is, it's so hard to think about him in the past tense. It hurts, yet it feels good to think about Finn. I can't stop tearing the wound, because the wound is all I have left of him. Oh my gosh, you guys, when I tell you that I so completely understood what he was talking about, like, I actually cried on this book. I didn't cry on the first one. I was like pacing back and forth. I was like, oh my god, you know, like I knew already everything that was gonna happen. Like I already knew what Endgame was, but like at the end of the book I really didn't want to believe it. But I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like I was really into it. But this one I feel like I understood, you know. Like the first one is like, it's a good story, it's an amazing read, it's like, oh wow, like that's, you know, intense, that's crazy, but I've never experienced anything like that, so I didn't connect with it in exactly the same way that I ended up connecting with this book, because like I said, I'm going through grief, so like hearing somebody's story about grief was like, oh, like I understand what you're talking about. I get it, you know. And then Autumn's perspective was actually really interesting as well. So basically she is currently in a psych ward when they first talk to her, or when Jack goes to see her, because she tries to harm herself, and so she is in the mental hospital, and she finds out that she's pregnant while she's in there, and so she's dealing with that, and she doesn't really want to accept the baby at the beginning. She keeps calling the baby Finney's baby instead of like our baby, and she's actually, at first she's not sure if she wants to keep the baby, but then she decides, you know, like she kind of has Finn's voice in her head, still like guiding her and helping her along everything that she's going through. And they find out, you know, the gender of the baby and everything, and then like I said, the one part that I really loved was when she was sitting there and she is like talking to the baby, and try to find it. It's kind of towards the end of the book, but she says she's like working on her novel. She's editing it and everything, and she says, I've taken to discussing plot points with the baby, who is at this point a very good listener. I mean, I am inserting this fight they're having about the dance, I explained to her, except it doesn't feel natural, little beloved. I call her by the pet name that came to me one morning when I woke up after a good dream I couldn't remember. And that was what Finn called her. Finn called her that little pet name, and I just, you guys, I just thought that was beautiful. Like I said, I enjoyed Finn's well, did I say that? I don't know. I enjoyed Finn's perspective because I really wanted to see what he was feeling about everything. So it was kind of nice to get his perspective, and actually, it kind of like made everything make more sense, like how he was reacting to certain things and like why he ended up saying what he was saying, and that like he didn't just randomly start liking her. Like, he's literally been like in love with her the entire time. Like, I don't know, just it was insane. I did kind of think that like the reason that they fell off from being friends was like stupid. I'm not gonna lie, like I really thought it was dumb. Like, I just thought that was so stupid. Like, it was just so dumb. Like it honestly, it made me mad at Autumn that she stopped talking to him over that little of a thing. Like, I just didn't get it. But yeah, I just love Finn, that he keeps like trying to confirm that they're together. He said, we're together right now, right? We're together now, right? And I just thought that was like really, I thought it was really sweet. I did kind of think it was actually interesting to see his perspective of how he felt about Sylvie. Whenever you're reading the first book, you don't get too much of that perspective of like how he feels about her. But he does say that he loves Sylvie, but how does he say it? Like, he loves Sylvie, but his devotion is to Autumn, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I don't know. Like, to me, it was like, oh, I love Sylvie, I'm in love with her, but I'm also really in love with Autumn, and I would rather be with her. That's more how it was coming off. But he says, like, she asks him, like, do you feel bad about, everything that happened? And he says, yes, I do feel bad, but I feel like I'm being, how does he say it? But I feel like I'm being true to, yes, I feel bad, but I feel like I'm being true to something bigger or something like that. I thought it was really interesting, like in the first book, it kind of seems like he really is just like ready to get rid of Sylvie. He's ready to stop talking to her. Like, he's been devoted to Autumn for this long. Like, he loves her. He kind of was with Sylvie for convenience sake because he couldn't have Autumn, so he had Sylvie. It's kind of how the first book made it seem, but then in Finn's perspective, it's like, no, he actually really did care about her. Like, he actually really did love Sylvie. So that was interesting. I don't really know how I feel about it. It kind of was like, okay, well then why be with Autumn then? Like, if she brings out the worst in you, you actually love the girl that you're with, you know. But he just, like, low-key kind of has, like, a weird, he just, like, I think low-key has, like, an obsession with Autumn. To me, that's a little bit how it came off. But I loved it regardless. I just thought it was an amazing book. I definitely would recommend it. I think, you know, reading the first book and then going into the second one, just getting to see the story continue, but getting to see everybody's perspective and how everybody was feeling. And I will give like a little side note shout out to Sylvie, because she really could have been 10 times more awful than what she actually ended up being. So I thought that was actually really interesting too. But yeah, man, I love this book. I love this book so much. It was so good. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, comment, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. And if you read this book, let me know. Or if you have read this book, let me know. I would love to hear your perspective on it. I'll see you later. Bye.